Just haven't met you yet. Hi, my name is Becca Moore. I am the author of 2 contemporary romances, An all-around crafty person. If you have been on the internet at all in the last 6 months, you have probably seen the trend of personal curriculum. I have been sucked into this similar to a lot of people. I am a sucker for structured education. I ultimately loved school because of the structured nature of it. I adore looking through syllabuses for various types of classes. I have been known to save a syllabus to my desktop or to my saved folder just to go back and look at it later. Maybe there's an interesting book or some articles that I want to read in the future. Personal curriculum, I feel like, gives that sort of structure to the everyday learning that I do anyways. So from now until March-ish, spring break time, I plan to do 3 personal curriculum courses. Now, these courses, as you were, are topics that have interested me or are the intersection of 2 topics that I want to explore. The curriculum that I have put together under each of these topics includes a variety of different mediums. That includes books, videos, maybe even some activities, and potentially a couple of movies. For each curriculum, I do not intend to necessarily read, watch, or do all of the activities or all of the things that I have listed under it. I want to give myself flexibility to pick and choose a couple. Maybe I will choose all of them, or maybe I will have time to do all of them. I do intend to do at least 1 item under each section that I have. So my first topic is Ellen Montgomery and perspective. This may seem like a really random topic, but if you know me or have been around and followed me around the internet for a while, you may know that I am obsessed with Anne of Green Gables and Ellen Montgomery. When I was in college, I was even able to do a visit to PEI that I dragged my mom and 3 of my aunts on. It was a delightful time. But Ellen Montgomery and her work have been influencing me for a very long time, and I have dabbled in learning a little bit more about her and exploring other concepts that have been influenced by her writing. So for this course, if you will, I have a stack of books that I will be potentially reading. So first up for this one, I have reading. Here is most of my stack of books that I plan to read and or explore in this topic. First, I have 3 graphic novel retellings of Anne of Green Gables, all set in more of a modern era with different themes. We have Anne of West Philly, Dan in Green Gables, and Anne, an adaptation of Anne of Green Gables, sort of. Also in fiction for this, I have Anne of Manhattan, Anne in Manhattan, which is a modern day adult retelling of Anne of Green Gables. My intention behind these fictional retellings of Anne of Green Gables is to see how those story elements have influenced other authors in a modern context. The second half of my reading list is nonfiction. The first is Ellen Montgomery and War. This is a look at Ellen Montgomery's life through the vision of the 3 or 4 war and or conflicts that she had to live through and how those impacted her and her writing. Next up is looking for Anne of Green Gables, the story of Ellen Montgomery and her literary classic. And last, we have the Select Journals of Ellen Montgomery, Volume 1. Next, I have 2 YouTube or 2 documentary videos to watch. The first is Lucy Ann Montgomery, Beyond Anne of Green Gables. And I'll include links to all of these books and videos in the description below. The next on the list is Ellen Montgomery, Writing Anne and Finding Her Voice. And then the last section on this curriculum is Make. So for this Make section, I intend to make one recipe from the Anne of Green Gables cookbook. This is a cookbook. This is my personal cookbook. All of my other books have been from the library. I have checked this book out from the library so many times that one of my best friends got this for me for my birthday probably 5 to 10 years ago without even knowing what I will be making from this. I have no idea yet, but I am excited to dive in and take a peek. So that is my first curriculum. Let's find out what's next. On to topic number 2. Topic number 2 is women and craft. I have really been embracing my love of sewing and crafting the last probably 6 months to a year. And this topic falls right at the intersection of a couple of my best obsessions, which is my love of learning and for discovering where women fall in the history of craft or crafting or things that are considered women's work that we don't tend to have a lot of information on. So this includes making clothes, tools, and how they documented using or making any of this. First, we have the things that I would like to read. This one has been on my TBR or my nightstand for a long while, and I'm finally going to be reading it here in the next several months. And that is Women's Work, the First 20,000 Years. Next is going to be Craft and American History. Now, for the make section. For this course, I really want to make a historically based garment or a historically based outfit. This doesn't have to be from any specific time period or honestly really historically accurate, but if I'm choosing to make it not historically accurate, I at least want to know and research what would have gone into making it at the time period that outfit or the inspiration for that outfit is coming from. Then I want to try my hand at an embroidery project. Now, I have done embroidery before. It's been very basic, and this project will probably be very basic and beginner as well, but I would like to start a new project. I haven't come up with an idea for it yet, but I'm sure inspiration will strike over the next several months. And that is it for the course of Women in Craft. Last on my course list is a writing course. Now, as I have mentioned, I am a fiction author with 2 contemporary romances out at the moment. I would like to increase that number or at least have a short novella added to the mix. Not only do I want to add a short novella to the mix, I really want to hone in on the craft side of writing. This is something that I have dabbled in or touched on, but never really to the extent that I have wanted to. So for this course, I have 2 podcasts that I want to listen to. And let's be honest, it will be way more than this 2 episodes. First, I want to listen to 7-Layer Plot Dip by Turning to Story. I've listened to several episodes from this podcast and have really, really enjoyed them. This is an episode that I've been putting off, probably because I really need to listen to it and I'm having some sort of resistance to the information that they are going to tell me or that I will need to absorb while listening to this podcast. The next podcast episode I want to listen to is How to Write 9,000 Words Before Breakfast with Dale Mayer, and this is on the Kobo Writing podcast. Kobo Writing Life podcast? There we go. I don't necessarily really want to be writing 9,000 words before breakfast because that sounds really intense, especially if it's something you're regularly doing. But as part of writing craft, I would like to understand how some writers become so proficient at writing 9,000 words a day. Now for the make section. For this, it's a little ambitious. I would like to make, see what I did there? I would like to make an outline or really a zero draft for a new novella or novella series that I have running around in my brain. This is a little ambitious for the next several months, but I feel up to the task. And I would like to make or connect with 3 other writers in my area. So I know that's all really ambitious, especially on a 3-month timeline or really a quarter. This is a mix of my personal curriculum and I'll say goals. Sometimes it's great to have goals that are just for fun. I'm excited to leave this quarter and leave these courses with a better understanding of all 3 of these topics that I can take forward into the future with me. Yes, I know that these are all really ambitious, and honestly, if I only accomplish one thing under each of those, I'll say, subsections, I will be more than pleased and proud of myself. So, what are your thoughts on structuring learning in this way? Are you going to give it a try? Follow along on my personal curriculum journey for this winter. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And hey, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my topics, or if I'm missing something that I should be reading or watching or doing for any of these courses. I'm always happy to do a course correction and add something in halfway through. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Bye.